What's up, y'all? Today I'm gonna be showing y'all how I instant lock and retwist my boyfriend's hair. Now, I don't do this method every time. I only do it when he has a lot of new growth, so that's about every 2 to 3 months. In between times, I do the exact same thing to retwist his hair, but I just take the instant lock part out. Now, you could do the instant lock every time, but it's just more time consuming. So what I use to achieve this look is the Cantu Shea Butter Locking Gel. I use a comb with a metal tip. It's much easier to part with a metal tip, so make sure y'all get that. A steel dreadlock crochet hook, hair clips, a hair dryer. I also use mousse to take away the frizz, and I use a hooded hair dryer. So all you gotta do is connect your regular hair dryer to the end part and then it'll dry your hair. Next, you're gonna need a scrunchie or rubber bands, it doesn't matter. And the last thing I use is edge control. I like to work from back to front, so I always start off with the back row. So with the middle part of my comb, I take and part his locks. I don't try to do it all perfect, but just noticeably part, just so it can look nice. Then I take the lock and twist it. I try not to twist too tight so that the crochet hook can fit inside of the lock. Once I get the hook inside of the lock, I hold the lock with one hand and I take the hook with the other hand and go up and down so that the hair that goes inside of the hook continue up with the other hairs, and that's how you make your lock instant lock. And I just repeat the steps. Don't mind the white stuff that's in his hair. It's just old product that didn't come out after you washed it, but it's really not a big deal. Now you see how I'm trying to get the hook all the way in the lock? That's how you want to do it. Now do y'all see how I started crocheting going downward? Because it was kind of hurting him a little bit. So for now on, that's how I'm going to do it in a down motion so his hair won't be pulling from the scalp. Alright y'all, I'm finished crocheting the whole back row. Now I'm about to twist it with the locking gel. You only need a little bit of the product so you can try to avoid buildup as much as possible. Just like a little fingertip worth. Then you just twist, twist, twist like so. Once I'm finished, I use the clip so that the hair won't unravel, and I move on to the next one. Now I'm going to speed this up a little bit while I do a little more. So right here, you see how I use one clip to do 2 locks? That's just so that I don't have to use so many clips. Okay, speeding it back up. Alright y'all, I'm halfway done his hair. You see how I use less and less clips the more locks I do? So for the last 2 rows of his hair at the top, I do the part first. And what I use for the part is edge control to get a nice crisp part. Now try to use as little as possible of the edge control because it could leave a residue. Or you can skip this part altogether and just part it without any product. I just like to use it because I be having a hard time getting a part nice and crisp. So if you do decide to use the edge control and you start seeing a residue, you can just put a little water on there after you finish and it'll go away. Now I always keep the other side tied up before I start because somehow the hairs from this side ends up in the side that I'm twisting and it messes up my part. Alright, I'm about to speed this up again. I'm just doing the same thing I did in the back. Crochet first, twist with the locking gel. Yes, I'm finished. So lastly, I put a good amount of mousse throughout his whole hair. Yep, right on top of the clips. You might want to rinse them off though when you're done and let it air dry so they won't be sticky. After that, I put the dryer hood on his head and I connect it to the dryer and I let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. And now we're all done. Okay, bae, I see you. Make sure y'all comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next vid. Hasta.